think we got another member coming in. Yep.
Perfect
there we go.
timing.
Sure timing.
I think I nailed that. Right on.
And I'm sure it'll be like, oh yeah,
You did nail
but
that.
then a year later you'll be like,
All right, I'll go ahead and call the town council meeting of June 9th, 2025 to order. And of course, the order of business would be the invocation and the pledge.
Will you join me in prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. And Lord, as we enter this summer, we just pray for all of our graduates, Lord. We ask you please lift them up and watch over them as they make decisions of this next chapter of their lives. And Father, as always, we continue prayers for our wonderful community. And all these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. And Terry, you want to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Looks like summer is here. It's getting a little warm out there.
Stormy.
Michelle, we've got a couple changes to the agenda. You want to mention?
Yes, we're going to remove under my report, case number 2-25, Leonardtown Apartments parking fee and wheel request, removing that item from the agenda. That's the only real change.
Okay. Okay. And everyone should have received a copy of the minutes from last month. Any comments, corrections?
I move to approve the May 12th, 2025 minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Okay, and I know, let's see, Sharon Strand with the treasurer's report, please.
So, just looking, we're wrapping up the year, we're in our last one for the fiscal year end. And looking at the May report, we're still on target and where we should be. We have 2 more income tax payments that'll come in end of June, early July. And that's about it. We're just gearing up for year end, getting ready for the audit. And we've already started, not implementing, but starting the process of the implementation of the new software for utility billing. So that's going forward right now also.
Okay. But no issues?
No issues, nope, none so
Okay.
far.
Very good.
Anybody
Comments?
have any questions for me?
Is the one other, it's called other income where it's like 1,500%, is that because of the interest we received?
No, I can look at to see what's in that one. Interest income is a couple lines up under 4711.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
right
I
there.
can see that, yep. That's it.
Yes, I'll look into it and let y'all know what's in
Yeah,
that.
no worries, thank you.
And when are we getting our accommodation tax?
We usually don't get that until later in the year, but we'll accrue it back for fiscal year 25.
Okay. Do you think it'll be the same amount? That's a big amount.
It is a big amount, and it's similar to what we had in the budget for last year, and we did receive that much.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. And I know Mike's out with a little shoulder injury, so.
Yeah. Last month, we did have on the agenda the Sheriff's Office Evidence Storage Building for final site plan, and that was approved. And then the Planning Commission sent a favorable recommendation for ordinance number 230, which we're going to have a public hearing on today. And there is nothing for the agenda on this month, so they won't have a P&Z meeting.
Okay. Thank you. And everyone should receive a copy of the police report. Corporal Owens now, since she's remarried. But a lot of crime prevention, a lot of vehicle stops, so we certainly appreciate that. Any comments, questions there?
Did something happen over the weekend, yesterday at Clark's Rest, that we heard about? There was vandalism, maybe?
No, I didn't.
I heard there were a lot of police over there. I was curious. They said there was some vandalism going on.
I didn't hear anything today, I don't know where this weekend.
I didn't get any notification on it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. All right, we'll move to Lachelle's report.
All right, since it's early for the public hearing, we do have two public hearings, one at 4:15 and one at 4:30 for the two ordinances that we introduced last month. So I'm gonna just move around a little bit. If we could let Jennifer give her Main Street report first. She needs to go downstairs and cover, so.
Good afternoon. The quarterly update, the facade grant program is open May 15th through June 13th. And we've had many businesses come to us, including Everyday Saint Brewhouse, SIP, Boundless Expectations, Crazy for You, Dreamy Dave Beauty, Wood Construction, Cyber Web Management, and a Fenwick Inn. And we also created a conflict of interest disclosure form for the Main Street Board that's working on the facade grant program. And I also wanted to let you know that Fenwick Inn is having an art exhibit and sale this Friday, June 13th, 1 to 6, and Saturday, June 14th, 10 to 2. That's at the Fenwick Inn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Any other comments, questions for her? Okay, thank you.
Okay, next if we could do Smash House letter of support for liquor license, if we have company in the audience. The applicant, John, can you tell me how to say your last name?
It's Arkelian.
Arkelian, okay. Smash House LLC is requesting a letter of support for a Class B restaurant license for on and off-site sales. The extension of premise will be associated with the outdoor seating that was approved by the Town Council March 10th, 2025. And we do have the owner of the building, Jim Piles, and John is here if you have any questions. It would be shared outdoor seating for the deck that, and I think you said, Jim, you were gonna divide it in half.
Yes,
Kind of.
the liquor board is usually concerned about separation from sidewalk and from adjoining businesses, so that the approved, that it goes across both businesses, Boone's Bagels and Smash House, and it'll have a sculpture and a big seat in the middle. and won't be able to-
So that'll be up to the liquor board to decide if that's acceptable, but, I mean, we've already approved the outdoor seating. So this is just for a liquor license letter of support.
When do you think you're gonna be open?
We're hoping like October.
October?
Yeah, October, November, maybe sooner if we're lucky, but in that time frame is what we're kind of looking at now.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I saw Jim in there working last week. He's got the inner wall starting to go up, so.
Thirty.
Still- So he's doing a lot of work himself, so.
Anytime, there's been a lot of, Jennifer was in there the other day, Michelle was in there. Any of you guys want to come in, where there's people there all the time. It's cool to watch the build out. Right now, the fronts are off the building. You might have noticed it's got a 4x8 thing, so it's kind of interesting. You don't see that all the time, where the whole front's just like not there.
But you're redoing the whole front, that's why it's covered up.
Yeah, it's all glass, and it gets glass, roll up garage doors. The garage doors arrive on this Wednesday.
Oh,
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, I move to send a letter of support for Smash House LLC for a Class B BWL restaurant license for on-site and off-site sales and an extension of premise for the outdoor seating. The location is 41656 Fenwick Street.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Good luck. Look forward to you getting open.
I appreciate it.
Alrighty. Still have time. Let's see what we got. Meter reading software. I'm jumping all over, which is making me get confused here.
Meter reading, you
Meter
said?
reading, yes.
Okay.
So in 2010, we installed electronic meters for all the residential customers. Then Those meters have a life expectancy of about 15 years. The registers in the meters, the life expectancy is about 10 years, so we're reaching that, we're starting to see that. We do have about 200 registers in stock right now to be able to address those for the time being, which will give them another 5 years or so lifespan, but we have started to see those. In 2018, we were notified that a bunch of registers were recalled, and we had to go out and replace all of those, and those ones that we have are left over. The 200 we have in stock are left over from that. We have about 1,450 residential customers that are all metered, and we have had the idea of upgrading to electronic meter read for the last couple of years, but with our budget, we've pushed that out a few years. But we did meet with a couple of meter companies, and we're looking at it before the budget started, and have very much are interested in a new style of meter where it would transmit back to the office. We don't have to have staff out there driving around getting the readings. It also offers a lot of benefits to the customers because they can log in from home and find out how much water they're using and that sort of information. They also, these new meters have a 20-year life expectancy, and they're also 98.5% accuracy, whereas the current ones, they have about 8 to 15% inaccurate count of the water. So we could be losing money from that inaccuracy. We got a call back from one of the companies that is offering us free software upgrade and antenna that's worth $6,000. That was by Ferguson, and that was actually the meter that we preferred when we met with the meter companies. We can run those in parallel, the two different software, so we can keep using, we don't have to go out and replace everything all at once, which is very costly. But what we would like to try to do is to start buying the new meter for all new connections that we make, like Meadows 2 and anything new that comes on. So we would get the new meters, and Jackie will be running 2 types of software, but it supposedly will work together. We have 51 meters that are still in stock of the old ones, and so as we would need them for any new homes and like developments and such, we would go ahead and put the new meters in, but we would just use those up, or we would try to sell those online to see if there's a town that maybe is going to continue using those. The company that we currently buy them for are no longer going to carry them anyway, so we would have to change companies. What else? Let's see. Oh, the cost is about $55 more expensive than what we're paying now, so we pay about $315 now versus $370. If we went out, and last time we hired someone to help us to put the meters in, it is a lot of money, but if we start, the builder is actually installing these now, so we wouldn't have to pay later to go out and swap them out. So we really feel on the long run, and plus the amount of time it'll save once the guys don't have to go out, they're kind of stretched to their max, especially they're one short right now. So we'd like to start using this new company right away. Jackie's here, she handles all this on a day-to-day basis, so if you have any questions, she's here to answer any questions. What we would just like to go ahead and start transitioning, since we can run the software and it's not going to cost us anything to buy the software at this time.
Just for clarification, when you said it wasn't reading correctly, it wasn't reading over, it was always reading lower than what the water usage was.
Right. There
We're
may
not
be water
over-
going
you're
through
not
there.
overcharging.
No, there may be water going through there that isn't being registered.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be a much needed upgrade.
Yes, we were so excited thinking that we were going to be able to transition to all new meters, but it's just the budget with all the projects we have going on, we just can't do it at this time, so we had to put it a couple years out. But this way, at least we'll get some of them in, and then we can still replace the registers. That's pretty easy for the guys to do since we have 200 still in stock. So I think it's the right direction to go in.
Right, and this will also, so the portal will let people see their usage, so like, say I had a leaky toilet or something, I could see that faster and have it repaired versus
Exactly.
it
Yes.
running for months and months and months and months.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's great.
What was the other company that we looked at? Was it this one?
Exeter.
Exeter.
And the cost, you gave that to me on Friday.
Yeah,
It was-
364
Yeah, it's really close.
is what, yeah, I wrote down. And doesn't sound like it would give
Like
us the
$5.
free.
Yeah, we really liked, they didn't offer anything, but, there's really a big difference in the types of meters and what can be done, and this was the one we actually liked when we looked at them.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
All right. I move to begin using the new Sonata ultrasonic meter for all new homes once the supply of master meters is depleted or sold.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Okay, I think it's time now, then we can go into the 415 public hearing, and Janine's going to take on that. That's the chapter 78 floodplain.
We have to make a motion.
Well, I was gonna say, well, we can go ahead and I'd entertain a motion to close the regular meeting, open the public hearing.
All right, I move to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing, reference ordinance number 229.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We could have kind of given the overlay first, but we'll go ahead and
So for ordinance number 229, chapter 78 floodplain, this is a requirement for the National Flood Insurance Program. They did a study that shows that the town needed to make a few changes in order to come into compliance with the NFIP regulations, 44 CFR Part 60.3.d. I outlined the summary of changes in the staff report. They're very minor. Luckily, we didn't have to do anything too stringent at this point. But this is a requirement and a condition in order to be eligible for NFIP floodplain insurance. So that's why we do need to have this in place. And any community that fails to enact these changes is subject to suspension from participation in programs. So it's very important that we get this done. But there are a few minor changes. This was introduced at the May 12th, 2025 meeting. And we did have the public hearing advertised in the County Times on May 22nd and May 29th. And this was posted on the town's website for everyone to view. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. The ordinance and the revised chapter is also in the packet.
Okay. Did we have any comments from the public? Okay. Any comments, questions?
And these were all requirements of the National Flood. Got it.
Yes, there's a checklist.
Insurance program, and yes, being in the insurance business, if you want flood insurance, it all goes through the National Flood Insurance
Gotcha.
Programs.
I think on your summary of changes, it should be page 31 for the line 1399, not 34. I was thinking, I was like, I'm missing pages. I don't think so.
Any other comments, questions? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
All right, I move to close the public hearing and open the regular meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. So I was going to say, does anyone have any other comments, questions? Anyone care to make a motion?
All right, I move to approve ordinance number 229 to adopt the revised floodplain regulations in accordance with the National Flood Insurance Plan regulations.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got until 4:30 for the next public hearing.
So I will jump back in then. For the Everybody's nice and confused in their packet.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm everywhere.
I know, I was like,
All right,
where's
so
all we have left is ordinance 230. You can just set that one aside till 4:30.
2:30 or 2:31?
Ordinance 230.
Yeah, all right, here it is.
230.
And now we can go in
That's
order.
letter B.
Yeah.
I had this 2:30.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to talk about 231 next.
Okay.
So all we're missing is just the ordinance 230 at 4:30. And the next item is ordinance 231 to repeal ordinance number 132. That isn't confusing. So we introduced this ordinance last month, and it is not a required public hearing because it is a repealing an ordinance that you all had approved. It is the ordinance that concerning sewer allocations for new construction. We put basically a moratorium unless it met certain guidelines because we didn't have a lot of sewer capacity left. And so it was for priority projects. And now that the wastewater treatment plant is just about wrapping up being finished, we can remove this and start projects, opening up the EDU allocations without having to meet those test requirements. Again, we introduced it last month, and the plant is substantially complete. We should be fully online hopefully by in July, but the MDE does allow you to move forward if you're going to be complete within a year. But you know, we wanted to make sure we were really getting done. So there's just a few punch list items, and if things are really going. Finally wrapping up. Any questions on that? We will be looking for, going forward about, there's a certain amount of new EDUs we're going to be getting. We have a lot of projects we know that may be wanting to come in, and a lot of things we talked about in the comp plan. So we're going to be really working on looking at how we structure that and how much gets allocated to certain projects. So we'll be bringing that in the next month or so back to you all. But this one can go away at this point.
Comments, questions?
You said we'd be online, you said next month, July?
Hopefully, fully,
Okay.
wrapped up by at least the end of July. But I mean, they're getting very close. Several items have already come online. We kind of got held up a little bit because something broke in the sludge press, so they haven't been able to press sludge. We've been waiting for that, and then they forgot to ship it, and the old fun stuff. The usual
That happens at the end.
Yeah. So.
All right, I move to approve ordinance number 231 to repeal ordinance number 132 relating to sewer allocations.
I'll second.
Okay, motion second, further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
We already did the meter reading. All right, so the next is letter E, assignment of the municipal solid waste and recyclables collection and disposal contract. So on March the 10th of this year, the council moved to award the current municipal solid waste and recyclables collection and disposal contract to WB Waste Solutions LLC, formerly known as the Good Companies, and to accept the proposed unit prices from the February 2025 bid. However, on May 1st, 2025, WB Waste was sold to Waste Management Incorporated. The contract was sent to the town attorney for legal review. He's created the attached assignment of municipal solid waste and recyclable collection and disposal contract to assign it to Waste Management. They have already signed the agreement, assignment, and you would just be authorizing the mayor to sign it for the town. Jackie, sorry, but what's the latest? They are starting to switch out some containers.
Yeah, so for the events, they're starting to use the waste management toters, so you'll see green toters out there instead of the blue and or the black. They've started to switch out some of the commercial dumpsters because they are showing some age on them, rusting out, kind of rusting out. I mean, you can expect the normal wear and tear on the dumpster, but the bottoms of them are starting to rust out a little bit. So they're starting to replace those slowly, and they're replacing them with the waste management containers. So I'm hearing that they're not going to replace the toters for the residential customers now. They're going to use up the stock that they have for WB Waste, and then maybe in the future, I don't know if they're gonna switch them out or they're gonna stick a sticker on top of them to say Waste Management. What I do know is that even though Waste Management purchased WB Waste in full, they're still operating under WB Waste. So you're gonna see, it's gonna be confusing, but you're gonna probably see a mixture of both. But the current employees at WB Waste some of them we're gonna be staying up to 9 months after this transition, just to get through the transition. After that period of time, I don't know what's gonna happen as far as like new drivers coming in and new helpers coming in and so on. But I know that the Supervisor John is stretched. He's running the office, he's running routes, he's running day routes, he's running night routes. And so I feel bad for him. He's got his hands full right now.
And he's one of our key contacts. I mean,
Yeah.
he is like on top of things.
So are we gonna lose him?
But we don't know. But, I mean, he's here for 9 months or so, at least.
Hopefully. Yeah, I don't want him to go. He's my contact. The office worker, she left 2 months before all this happened, so they're he's half running both. And it's difficult for him. But if you have any issue, I know that they've been running late on routes, so especially on a recycle day, what they're trying to do is push the ALT, which is the automatic lift truck, which takes the dumpster, the toter, and completely goes in. The driver or the helper puts it in the thing and it completely goes over top. So there's no opening anywhere for trash to go in. It goes on top and in. So John was telling that they had to run 2 trucks because there's people that put recycling out next to their recycle toter because they take all recycling. So they're having to run 2 trucks. I don't know how long that's gonna last for them because they're gonna see that it's gonna cost them more to run 2 trucks. And then on the regular route, depending on what they have going on, they're running late in the day. So Friday, they were running about 6 hours behind. They normally let me know if it's significant, and I can start posting that on Facebook and on our website so people know that the routes are running late. But after a certain period of time, if you notice that something's not being picked up, shoot me an email, because I check my emails all the time, and I can address that then. Because I can text John anytime, day or night, weekends.
We get great service.
So that's how we are right now with the trash. Hopefully it won't
Last
show
week
much.
was bulk pickup too, which is an extra.
Yeah, it's an extra truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Thursday and Friday were bulk, and
Yeah.
we had a lot of bulk this time. I guess people are spring cleaning and getting rid of a lot of stuff, so. Which requires a lot of time, it requires an extra, they'll have to go and dump and then come back.
Right. So hopefully they catch up and get used to it, so, yep.
And Lachelle, they're gonna, it's gonna be the same cost that we just had approved for.
Yeah, they're taking over the contract that was
Right,
approved.
okay, because they came in higher, I thought, Waste Management, didn't we look at their costs?
No, they didn't bid.
They didn't-
Okay, but we looked at their costs and they were more, I think.
Well, outside the town.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're more, but they will have to go by the WB Waste contract that we
Okay,
just
good.
signed.
Well, anyone would be higher outside the town because it's so much distance between pickups.
Right.
Whereas
Yeah.
in town, it's here, here, here.
Yeah,
It could
exactly
be
right.
half a mile for each.
Or more condensed,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so.
And that doesn't cost us anything for them to replace the dumpsters, right?
No.
That's all on their dime.
It's all part of the contract.
And I want a new dumpster.
Lachelle, it's probably right, but I'm just gonna ask it anyway. On the motion, should that be from WM Waste Solutions or from WB?
WB, yes.
It is WB, okay.
I meant to change that because somebody else brought it to my attention. Thank you.
No problem. Just making sure.
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
I move to approve the assignment of municipal solid waste and recyclables collection and disposal contract from WB Waste Solutions LLC to Waste Management
I'll
LLC.
second. I'm sorry, I'll second.
Okay, motion is second. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do the 4:30 public hearing for ordinance 230 that we set aside,
Yep.
and then when we come back to, we'll do the public art master plan.
Okay, entertain a motion to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
All right, I move to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing reference ordinance number 230.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. So in order to meet the goals and action items of the recently adopted comprehensive plan, staff has prepared ordinance number 230 with the following revisions proposed. We added and updated several definitions throughout section 155-4, and that ranges from pages 2 through 24 in the reference document. We created a separate use category, and this was the main reason for the change. To create a separate use category for townhomes, and it's labeled single-family dwelling attached within the code, and there's the new definition on page 7, line 280. Due to that change, we went through and updated the individual zoning categories, so the townhomes were added as permitted use in the residential single-family district. We removed townhomes since they're no longer considered multifamily units on page 37, and we added townhomes as a permitted use in the commercial highway district on page 52. We are going to be doing a more comprehensive review and update of the zoning code, but in order to kind of meet the initial goals of the comprehensive plan, we want to get this change implemented, and it does open up the opportunity for more changes down the road. So this was introduced at the May 12th, 2025 meeting, and was advertised in the County Times on May 29th and June 5th, and it was posted on the town's website in compliance with the state regulations. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Were there any public comments? Okay, any public comments today? Okay. Hearing none, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing, open the regular meeting, reopen the regular meeting.
All right, I move to close the public hearing and open the regular meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Any comments, questions? This just kind of clears things up, so.
All right, I move to approve ordinance number 230 to adopt the revised zoning regulations.
I'll second.
Okay, motion is second. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, I'll pass all three ordinances around, and I have a signature page on the top of it now.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so left on my agenda is the letter H, the public art master plan bid proposals. We put out an RFP to solicit qualifications and proposals for the development of a public art master plan. 3 proposals were received for consideration. 2 of the proposals provided an anticipated budget of $25,000, while 1 proposed a flat budget of $27,500. Staff would like to request a consensus of the council to allow the A&E District Committee to review and select which consultant that would prepare the public art master plan. The original budget was $25,000, $18,000 from a grant for the Main Street Program Technical Assistance, and a $7,000 matching contribution, which we put in the budget this last year. The committee would award the contract within the original budget. The grant for the project has a strict deadline of finishing the project in early 2026, so we have to stay on schedule, and we would need to try to award this project by the end of June so that they could start having meetings with residents and businesses and see what the community wants as far as public art, look at locations, and just really kind of get a plan for what we want to do and not just have public art all over that doesn't really go with everything. And then the committee would evaluate the 3 proposals. Everyone has agreed to stay on the committee, with the exception of one North End gallery artist, and she just can't at this time, but they still have another representative. So we have artists, businesses, business owners, some staff, and it was the same committee that did all the art, the murals in L Town Alley, and they've been on the Arts and Entertainment District for a long time. So I would just like to, because the prices are all pretty close there, so the ones that are a flat 25,000, they still have expenses, so we need to look at and see which is the best fit for us. And then they all gave examples of their work. So I think it would be the best thing for them to kind of really go through these and then just keep it, it'll be at the budget that we have from the grant and the 7,000. And Janine actually put together a comparison to make sure that from the RFP that we sent out that all of them did meet the different guidelines that we had in the RFP, and so it'll be easy for the committee to just kind of go through, look at their plans, see what would be the best fit for our community. So we don't need a formal vote, just a consensus if everybody's okay with that process.
Yeah,
And then
sounds good.
it would all come back to you, the plan itself would come back to you to adopt, once it's over. And you would be involved in the process as well.
And, this committee is familiar with all the arts, so it's good to have them.
Yeah, they've done a great job on all the other, yeah, it's all great.
Good, thank you.
So, everyone's in consensus?
Yes,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, membership.
Okay, next is the Community Legacy Grant, and that's also consensus to proceed. In August of 2024, the town submitted an application for a Parks and Playground grant in the amount of $400,000 for the new to redo the existing parking lot. We got the grant for the new parking lot that we purchased the land from. And we wanted to upgrade the existing one. So we actually did not get that grant. And then we figured we would try again with Community Legacy. The other one was Community Parks and Playground. And because we would still like to do those improvements down there. And part of the downtown strategic plan action items was to explore funding options for public infrastructure to support the project, including parking, ADA accommodations, and stormwater management. So we would just like to go ahead and submit this application, but this particular application requires that you all agree to us applying for the grant.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
Again, this is just consensus,
Yes.
Yeah.
and everybody's good?
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. No grants.
We had a group of American Planning Association from all over the state come in, and Janine's going to give you a little overview of that meeting.
So on May 22nd of 2025, we participated in the Maryland chapter of the ATA conference at the Port of Leonardtown Winery. The theme was reviving small towns, building resilient communities for the future. And we were very fortunate that they reached out to us to kind of host and be the main attraction. So we did do an overview PowerPoint regarding the town's kind of revival and how things have progressed over the past 20 years. And then we did a trolley tour and a walking tour of, of all the different areas around the town. And it was very well attended, and we got really good feedback from all of the attendees. I've actually had people reaching out to me after the fact, asking more questions, wanting to learn more about Leonardtown. So it was a really, really good event. It turned out really well at the winery.
Awesome.
Very good.
It was, I
They
went
want
out.
us to come and do
Yeah.
presentations to their council, and I'm like, I don't know if they appreciate us coming to tell you that. But anyway, it was a good day. So that's all my agenda items, just a couple updates. we had received a letter or an email from the director of the Historical Society saying that they received notice from the Historic Trust that they were approved for their $75,000 capital preservation grant, and they wanted to thank us because we did do a letter of support for it.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
That's wonderful.
And then also received an email from Shelley O'Foran, which has to do with the Bob project at the wharf.
Yeah.
And they have it out of the water. This was in May. They were refurbishing the wharf Bob, and they will have it back in the water for the summer monitoring season. And they spent the last 6 months developing an upgraded Bob Bay observation box. And they will hopefully have it down at the wharf during the next season, so they're excited about that. And it's just more accurate, the battery lasts longer and that sort of thing. So they want to continue that program. Cool. And then the last thing was, you all heard before the meeting that Will over here did just a great job. We have a new camera system at the wharf. It's amazing. You can see faces, you can see license plates, so it's just an amazing system. So we're really happy. And we can monitor it from here. We don't have to go down and stand in the hot electrical room and review the tape. It's right on our computer, so it's really good. And we're adding 2 more cameras into the square. He's going to be working on that later this week, these upgraded cameras, so we're really excited about that.
Awesome.
Great.
Really
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks
Yep.
great.
And I think that's all we have.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to my report, LBA, no one from the LBA is here.
I have a write-up.
Okay.
They couldn't make it today. They said Saturday's Hometown Heroes event was very successful. Mother Nature cooperated, and it turned out to be a wonderful evening. It was packed. The square was packed with attendees, and they had the first responders from all over the county, and everyone loved seeing Robbie Booth back on the stage. Thank you to town staff for all their support, especially Eris, and for the council members that came out to support the event. And thank you to the LBA volunteers who assisted with the information table. And then upcoming initiatives and event, June 14th is a summer sizzling sale. Several retail locations will be having sales this coming Saturday. July 4th is the 4th at the Wharf concert with the Copper Pennies, and they'll have fun games, water meeting at the watermelon eating contest, pet parade, and more. So come down and join for the fun event. July 18th to the 20th is Christmas in July Shop and Stroll event, which is similar to the Passport Shopping event that we did last November, where visitors will visit participating retail locations and get their passports stamped, and then they'll be entered to win prizes. And then save the date, 7th annual Scarecrow Stroll kicks off on Friday, October 3rd. And the Gingerbread Lane kicks off on Friday, December 5th, which is going to be similar to the Scarecrows, except they'll have wooden gingerbread cutouts that participants can acquire from the LBA and decorate. So lots going on.
Because there's a fee for the gingerbread one.
Yes,
a
it's
fundraiser.
$40.
Yeah.
$40, yes.
Thank you.
I have to order those by like July 1st or something, wasn't it?
She did
Is
not
it?
put that on there, but I can
It's
ask
quick.
and let you know. Okay. I can check with her and send it out. Okay, that was it.
Okay, that's it for you, LBA. Really, the only thing I've got to mention is we've just had someone had an anniversary here. I'm not sure you all are aware, but Lachelle has been with us for 25 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you for everything you do.
What did she get? That's silver, right? Is that silver anniversary?
So we know
Yeah.
we had to take you out for like wine.
Sounds good.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, all right, moving on to council reports, events. Heather.
Thank you, Mayor. No, Hometown Heroes was great. It was packed Saturday. It was a really good event. I like seeing so many people out and about, and all of the vendors too, with all their free stuff too. The kids loved it. There's a couple story time in the park events coming up, which I think is perfect for now that the kids are out of school. You know, on Saturdays, Friday and Saturday, so June 14th and the 21st. Lachelle, do we know, or do they need volunteers for the 4th of July event? I know last year they needed some.
Yeah, I think always can use volunteers.
Okay, so yeah, just if anybody has a couple hours to spare on July 4th, you know, see our LBA. And then the deadline for Leonardtown's Got Talent is July 10th. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nick, Community Development and Planning.
All right, thank you, Mayor. On the development side of things, still a number of projects working, as Lachelle mentioned. The wastewater treatment plant's almost done. The Route 5 work, I know, had a couple neighbors reach out asking if State Highway's still working on it. They are. So just be patient with them. They will be reaching out to everybody if they haven't already. The Hometown Heroes concert, was able to attend that. That was just a great event. Really enjoyed that. Beautiful weather. And then just a reminder to everybody, Flag Day is this Saturday, June 14th, 6 p.m. at the Governmental Center. I'm going to be there, so make sure to come on out. They have free food, hot dogs, burgers. So come get a bite, but it's always a great event, so we'll see everybody out there.
Just get far away from the burning flags.
Yeah, it's very hot. That's everything from me.
But speaking of events, the Crab Festival's this weekend down at the fairgrounds, so everybody enjoy that. So, thank you. Thank you. And Christie, utilities, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Don't have a lot to report, other than the McIntosh Run pump station still continuing. A lot of unknowns, but we're getting there.
Well, I
and
think they got everything underground pretty much done.
Good.
So they'll be finishing up
Wrapping
with
up soon.
smaller equipment and less intrusive.
Great.
The close-up is a lot smaller than it was, so
Sure.
a lot more
Yeah,
access.
it was a big hole.
Yeah.
Yep, need to be saved. And then I want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day on Sunday, so don't forget.
Yeah,
Father's
those
Day
guys.
is coming up. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And Jay, Southern Maryland Municipal Association.
All right, Mayor, I have a few things, thank you. I also attended the Hometown Heroes event in town. I actually worked the booth for Sumers County Department of Emergency Services. So we got rid of a lot of stuff, so hopefully somebody will apply. We're always looking for somebody. So it was a good turnout, great music, so thank you to our LBA for that. It was a good job. As far as the Southern Maryland Municipal Association, La Plata took over. So Mayor Janine James is president, Vice President is Taiwan Johnson, and then as far as our district vice president, it's going to be Mickey Hummel, council member of North Beach. So he'll automatically be on the board of directors for the Maryland Municipal League. As far as the conference, I was very impressed. I mean, it's coming up. That starts with June 22nd. So they have almost 1,600 participants that have signed up, and that's a total of 121 cities.
Wow.
So it's going to be a big turnout this year.
Is that more than last year, do you know?
Yeah, every year it's going up.
It
Yeah.
goes up, yep.
Yeah, so we'll probably see a lot of new faces this year.
Mm.
We do every year now.
Yep.
It's always changing, which is good.
Yeah.
So, Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mary, Business Development and Retention.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to remind everybody on July 1st, all the new tag prices at the MVA for your vehicles, the taxes are being implemented on July 1st. Did you know that there was, this is a total side, did you know there's an extra tax for electric vehicles at the MVA?
Additional?
An additional.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting? I just had somebody come from it today and she was like, can you believe? I said, no, I didn't know that. I thought that was interesting. Just wanted to let you know that I've been working with the state of Maryland and actually spoke to somebody last week in Maryland, I guess the comptroller's office, and she said their software is not working, which is part of the problem that we're having. I have a list of about 20 different people that haven't even received their tax refunds from last year, and basically she said it's a glitch in the software and they're working through it. So if anybody's had a problem, please let me know. At least I know how to escalate it to the top. But she said, it's basically we need to get IT in there, which is terrible. So that's what I have. Thank you,
Okay,
Mayor.
thank you. Does anybody else have anything for the good of the cause? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.